about scholarship opportunities that are present in South Korea. Most of us might not have known about where or uh, educational opportunities that are bound in South Korea, but this is an eye opener for every one of us to be a part of this movement of educating ourselves, improving ourselves, irrespective of where we are, especially from Africa. Scholarship, because I can see a lot of people that are entering already from most of us might not have known about. Before we begin, my name educational opportunities that are bound in South Korea. I am a student here. This is an eye-opener university, South Korea. This university is one of the best universities in Korea, and I am glad to be the one to host today's event. So, without much ado, we have a list of a program that we've already. In the history of NSA-KNU, and I'm glad that you and we are present here to witness this occasion. So we have a list of programs that have been marked already for these sessions, and I'm very, very confident on the fact that after this session, those of us that attend, even the scholars amongst us, we are going to learn one or two things from this from today's proceedings. So to kickstart the program, I would like to start by the fact that there is a list of programs that we have already enmarked. And the number one on the list is that we would have a word of introduction from the president of the Nigerian Student Association here in Korea, in person of Engineer Rabiu Anis. He's going to do a bit of introduction of NSA and then the what we have in stock for today's program to every one of us. So I hope we all listen and also benefit immensely from that. President, you can unmute yourself.
All right. Um, Good evening from South Korea. Good morning from Nigeria, and good day from anywhere you are around the world. I'm Anis Rabiu, and I'm a PhD student at the Korean National University at the Department of Agricultural Civil Engineering, and I'm the president of the Nigerian Student Association here in NSA-KNU. We are the one that actually organized today's program. On behalf of the entire member of this organization, I would like to welcome all the participants to this program. And as well as I would also like to welcome special welcome to our guest speaker in person of Dr. Wakinga Ruga. And also, we also use the medium to also welcome our founding members and our founding fathers who have actually laid the foundation for this organization to actually exist in this moment, so that we can have this kind of meeting program today. Basically, NSA-KNU, it's a group is an organization that actually consists of Nigerians here in South Korea, and we do have series of programs and activities. And one of our programs that we have for this year is this scholarship program, whereby we actually see that we have a lot of brothers there in Nigeria and also people around the world who are actually looking hard for scholarship opportunity. And as we all know, mostly from people from Nigeria, everyone actually look forward towards getting scholarship opportunity in USA, at UK, Canada, Australia, but many people actually have little information about what is actually available for us here in South Korea. So today, we actually bring an erudite scholar to our midst who will be taking us through the scholarship opportunity in South Korea, mostly for the graduate student and for those that are actually looking for postdoc opportunity. And is a well-known person who actually has a vast experience in this area. and we actually believe he will actually do justice to the topic of discussion. And at the end of this the program, we also have some of our elder scholars who have actually been also in the trend of helping people to get scholarship opportunity in South Korea, in person of the founding father of this organization, who is in person of Dr. Abdulhamid Owolabi, and also our pioneer vice president in person of Dr. Bashir Adelodun. Both of them also have a short section to actually share their experience with us. And as well, there's going to be a kind of a question and answer section whereby we will actually have opportunity to accommodate few questions from people around to actually have to actually ask questions, and answers will actually be preferred to those questions. So I will just, to round it up and wrap it up, I will just try to put first line from the word of the former UN secretary in the late memory of Kofi Annan. He said, and I quote, "Knowledge is power, and also information is liberating." So one of the major part essence.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, maybe your speaker or
yeah, I can
is
hear
having
you.
some issue. Okay,
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to borrow from the word of the former UN secretary in person of Kofi Annan, blessed memory. He said, and I quote, knowledge is power and information is liberating. So the essence of this program today is just all about information. We just want to try to see how we can enlighten ourselves with relevant information about scholarship here in South Korea. And we so much believe that the program is fully loaded with experienced scholars who are very fast in getting scholarship. They actually know better about scholarship opportunity in South Korea, from graduate students, from masters, doctoral scholarship opportunity, and also as well as postdoc researchers, also maybe assistant professors. So they have very fast experience. So I believe the information will be so much useful, and also it will actually update many of us who are actually looking out for scholarship opportunity in South Korea or somewhere around the world. So I believe this section will be beneficial to every one of us who have actually joined today's program, and also the organizing committee. I also like to welcome them for the job well done they've actually done to put up this program. So I, on behalf of the Nigerian Student Association of Greenfield National University, I hereby welcome every one of us to this maiden edition of scholarship program opportunity in South Korea, organized by NSA. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That deserves an applause. So thank you so much, sir, for the warm welcome. I think by now we would have had an idea about what we're about to benefit in today's session. So without much ado, before we delve into discourse of the matter, I can see some hands have been raised already, and I would like to, maybe the admins have selected, maybe they've been able to answer to their queries, or I can see a lot of hands that have been raised. For example, Ibrahim Badmos. So you raised your hand. So if you have any comment before we start in earnest, so please go ahead. Or Usman Ahmed, and one other person is raising their hand. Okay.
Sorry, sir, I think the question should be after the session.
No, probably the raising of the hand probably had to do with maybe an information they want to pass or something.
You have to consider the fact that some people might have raised their hands unknowingly that they did, because nothing
So
has
the
been
admin,
for people to ask.
okay, the admin said that if you have any question or query, you can send it to the chat, so it will be attended to, God willing. So that's a key for us to begin in earnest. So before I begin, I would like to do a little bit of introduction about resource person today. Although we might not be able to get the name pronunciation correctly, I'm very sure he's going to pardon us for that. We are very sorry about maybe we are murdering the pronunciation, the correct pronunciation. So, but Dr. Rogers, Mr. Olayinka, please mute yourself. Admin, please take control. So, Dr. Rogers is an early career scientist, and is the right round peg that fits the round hole for today's event, because he has a scholarship YouTube channel.
Please check your
We can
mic.
hear you, Mr. Ashraf.
Check
You're
your
muted.
no audio, please.
You have
Thank
promote
you so
yourself, sir,
much.
please.
I've seen it. So, Dr. Wainkwa is an early career scientist and a scholarship. He has a scholarship YouTube channel with the name Dr. Wainkwa's Mentorship. And I'm very sure he's going to provide us the link to the YouTube page as he's presenting and also at the end of the class. So his research interest is in soil carbon and nitrogen cycling, and is also into soil microbial diversity and interaction, climate change and development, soil respiration and its influence, afforestation, reforestation, and cropping variability, and agriculture as a whole. So he is well versed in this area of scholarship for graduate studies and postdoc positions. And I've been getting a lot of questions regarding, okay, this discipline, this is my discipline welcome in Korea? Is it welcome in this or that? So these are questions that I'm very sure that he is going to handle and treat appropriately while he's doing his presentation. So I will use this medium within the next minutes, and I'm very sure this is what we came here to do. And also the after that, I'm very sure there's going to be beneficial discussion after his presentation. So I would like to invite to the podium our doctor, erudite scholar, and our resource person for today's event, in person of Dr. Wainkwa Chia Rogers. And I'm very sure, please do justice to helping us correct the way we've murdered the right pronunciation. Thank you so much, sir. You have the floor now, sir. You can share your screen.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Yeah, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, you
Hello,
loud
we
and
can
clear.
hear
Great,
you.
great.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear you.
okay. All right.
Good
First
morning.
of all, before I share my screen, I would like to thank the National University Nigerian Association. Thank you very much for providing me with this platform to share stories, to share ways on how you can go about to get scholarships in South Korea. It's something that I love doing. It's a passion. I've benefited a lot from it, and I also think that so many people out there, not only Nigerians, anybody out there looking forward to come to South Korea to study, to work, scholarships are the best way to come here. And also, Korea is really open right now to receive a lot of people, especially research scientists, to come and work. But so many people don't know about this information. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and then let's get right away to it. Okay, just a moment. Okay. Mhm. Okay, my screen is preparing to share. Just hold on. Okay. Yeah. Um, okay. All right, I just shared my screen. So if why throughout the presentation you can't really get me, just let me know, because my screen is shared and I cannot really see whosoever is in the background. So if you can't get me, or if I'm too fast, please let me know. Is that okay?
Yeah, doctor, you can
Yeah,
as
it's
well
okay.
bring your mic
Uh-huh.
closer.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, hello.
We
Yeah,
can hear
so
you,
I'm going
sir.
to start.
We can
Yeah,
hear you.
okay. So first of all, thank you very much. You got my name correctly. My name is Dr. Wainkwa Chia Rogers. I'm from Cameroon. So I'm a multiple scholarship beneficiary. I've benefited from so many scholarships: the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, the African Union scholarship, the Korean government scholarship, presidential scholarships within Cameroon, Dongguk University scholarships at my university. And then after that, I got my PhD in Korea. And after that, I worked with the Forest Research Institute in Seoul for a couple of time, like a short period, that's 6 months approximately. Then I got another position, that's a postdoc position at Kangwon National University which is a national university within the province of Gangwon province in South Korea. So I got that position. Then I worked as a postdoc researcher for 1 year, and then after that, I was promoted based on my excellent performance into a research professor. So currently, I'm a research professor at Gangwon National University, and my area of research interest is basically into soils contamination with microplastics, and also like the presenter said before, I'm interested in on groundwater contamination. So anything that has to do with how you can mitigate soils and have make them suitable either for growing crops or climate change mitigation. That is my area of expertise. So you can get from my profile that scholarships basically from my master degree level right up to my PhD. I've been studying on scholarships, and before I proceed, all these scholarships which I got, it is not because I'm the smartest person. No, there are people who have GPA 4 on 4, 5 on 5, 100%. I've once been first class, second class, and also yeah, I've never gone below that. That's just to tell you, anybody who has anybody who has a good score at the university, you can benefit from a scholarship. Also, if you have a first class, it doesn't guarantee you're going to have a scholarship. Mind you, I will share lots of experience while we go through presentation. So today, I already did the introduction of myself. I already introduced myself, and I'll tell you, guys, what are scholarships, because I feel like this is a term that has not really been understood by so many people these days. And if you don't really grasp or understand what a scholarship is, then you might not even know how to go about it. Then I'll bring up a master and PhD scholarship guide for South Korea, then postdoc positions in South Korea, and then we're going to look at study plan, cover letter, statement of purpose, research proposal for postdoctorate, and then question and answer. So before I proceed, South Korea, some people might not really know about South Korea. In my own case, when I came to Korea, I didn't know where Korea was. I couldn't tell the difference between Korea, China, and Japan. But I benefited from the scholarship because a friend told me there is something called the Korean government scholarship. So I just applied. So when I got it and I came here, within the class, when they and then but I was like, that is a Japanese flag, and I was told no, that is a Korean flag. That is to tell you to the extent at which I didn't know anything about Korea, right? So that is to tell you that right now, and I feel like so many people don't really know where Korea is and what Korea has got to offer. Korea is I'm referring to South Korea. It is a developed country, and all the scholarships, a majority of the scholarships you find in the US, in the UK, in Australia, you have them in Korea. But right now, a lot of opportunities are still being open, and they are gradually closing. They are gradually closing. I think when the Global Korean Scholarship started some years back, they used to take over 1,000 people, 1,000 students, but the number keeps dropping each year. And soon, Korea will reach a level by which they will no longer be offering the scholarships the way they do. So it's we should be thankful to the Kyombuk Nigerian Association for providing us this platform so that we can all learn from this. So scholarships. What are scholarships like? You hear people talk about scholarships all the time. You even hear people tell you, give me money and I'm gonna get a scholarship for you. You get that a lot. But in simple terms, scholarship means you're being granted, you're being paid. I'll use simple term, you're being paid to study. You're being given an allowance. You're being covered to study because you don't have that amount of money, and someone is ready to help you with that sum of money. So you do not pay to have scholarships. If somebody tells you you should pay to have a scholarship, then think about it, right? So, and then within South Korea, there are so many types of scholarships. Before we started this, I had to just Google and check. Within Korea, there are about 200 universities and above, and all of these universities do have full scholarships, partial scholarships, and also what we call fellowship opportunities. There are so many scholarships in Korea, but some of the top ones, or the ones you hear often, which covers your full tuition, gives you even allowance and covers for your flight ticket back and forth. You have the Global Korean Scholarship, that is one of them. Then you also have the Korean International Cooperation Agency Scholarship, which is called KOICA. Then you also have university scholarships. For example, I'm working at Kangwon National University. Kangwon, our university has a scholarship which we call the Best KNU Scholarship. Gyeongbuk National University probably also has some of these scholarships. So a lot of government universities within Korea do have fundings, do have a huge budget to attract international students who are really skilled and willing to study to come study. So they provide you with scholarships to come study. But if you don't know about this scholarship, that's the first step of you not even benefiting from them. If you have a first degree, if you're a first class student and you do not know these scholarships exist and you keep applying in other areas of the world, you might not benefit from these ones, right? So that is what happens. But somebody who knows that, for example, there is a KNU Best Scholarship, because usually KNU Best Scholarship, for example, each year they need 10 students in the whole university. So if within the 10 students, there is what we call, there is gender balance, and then there's geographical balance. All these details, they will not tell you, but being someone who has been into scholarships most of the time, I know all of this, and sometimes we look at the statistics. So if one Nigerian, if just one person from Nigeria applies for KNU Best Scholarship, even if you are, let's say the minimum score is, let's say if you have a 60 on 100, and you're the only Nigerian that applies for this university, you are going to be automatically be selected because they want to do what they call the geographical balance. And if you're a girl, for that matter, your chances are even higher. So there are some of these scholarships which are out there from different universities. And again, most students often just rush to what we call in Korea the Sky University, the top ranking universities. But mind you, most universities or almost all of them have a similar curriculum, and all of them are well equipped. For example, if you're into science and you're being admitted into a program within Korea under a scholarship, you don't need to worry about fundings. You don't need to worry about equipment. They will always have it. So you have the fully funded scholarships. You have partially funded scholarship. There are some universities, just by having admission within your first year, your tuition is fully covered for. So you benefit from that. There are universities like that within Korea. And then you have what you call fellowships, which are opportunities that last for a few months to maybe several years. And these are usually to help students to broaden their knowledge. Especially for the PhD students, you have all people who just got their PhD or currently doing their PhD. You can have a fellowship of just 6 months where you have the opportunity to visit a lab in Korea and do your studies. And usually most of them, you don't pay a dime. The only thing you will pay for is your data wheresoever you are to access the internet and apply. Then I talked about full scholarships within Korea. You have the Korean government scholarships, KOICA, and then there is also one, because often you hear some people, like some candidates will reach out to you that is it only science majors that do have scholarships? No, there are people who are of the people of the social sciences, the law. There are people of law. If you're doing law, if you're doing economics, there is also the Korean Development Institute. They offer a lot of scholarships to people to come and study. And I think they have one of the good scholarship schemes within Korea, and the allowances are really good. And by the way, I didn't mention about allowances. For example, you have the Global Korean Scholarship. If you have to look at the money, they cover for your allowance. They're going to give you $1,000 for your allowance. Then they'll cover for your tuition fee. And tuition fee in South Korea, depending on the university, some range from 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 to 5,000 US dollars per month. So they'll cover that for you. Then they cover your insurance. They're going to also help you to cover for your feeding and nutrition and everything. So KOICA, which is usually most of the time, it targets people who are already working back home. So if you're working with an NGO or with a government institution in your country, then you should be looking forward to applying to KOICA. And it's also good because KOICA covers everything. It pays you for your accommodation. It also pays for your tuition and everything. So comparatively, between KOICA, which is KOICA is the second one, which is a Korean Institute, International Cooperation Agency Scholarship. This one, majority of the programs are for masters, but recently they have started incorporating PhD programs to target people who are coming to do their PhD, that is their doctorate degree. So, the difference between the Global Korean Scholarship and KOICA is that the Global Korean Scholarship, once you're done, if you want to stay and work in Korea, then you're free, you're welcome to stay. But if you want to go back to your country, then you can go back. But with the KOICA scholarship, you have to go back to your country. Some in the past, for example, in my university, some students came, right? The Ethiopian community, some of them, when it was time to go back, they refused going back. And because they refused going back, automatically the Ethiopian community for KOICA for the past 2 years has not been represented. So it's been taken off from the list. So these are some of the things. Then you have KDI, you have what they call Brain Korea. The Brain Korean scholarship is usually it supports like this one is mostly for what we call the professor scholarship, where a professor might win research grant, then he kind of invites students to come where your tuition is covered for. Then your allowance, you're given an allowance, and it is based on a negotiation between you and your professor. And this one, the Brain Korea, has a downside and a positive side. Then you also have the National Research Foundation Scholarship, where you apply and you get fundings, then you come study. Then you also have what we call the bilateral agreement between country and Korea. This one falls usually, there are some countries which we call countries that helped Korean during the Korean War. And I don't know if Nigeria is part, but that's something to verify. And they have some special packages or scholarships designed for that, designed to support students or to have that kind of encouragement. And I think usually I always mention, if you have the Korean embassy in your country, pay a visit, just go. There is so much information, so much there are so much a lots of scholarships which sometimes they don't even put online, which might be there. And if you know about that and you're the only person who applied, then you end up benefiting from that scholarship. Then you have what we call full university scholarships. There are some universities, like I mentioned before, which have full scholarships, also scholarships based on academic performances. For example, you have Seoul National University has what they call the Presidential Fellowship. You also have the Gangwon National University. And also, I'm a graduate from a university in Seoul called Dongguk University. They also have what they give as the best academic performance scholarship. I also had that. So you see, Korea is a country where they don't have natural resources, but they encourage education so much. If you like to study, if you're someone who is gifted with studying, then Korea should be the next country you should take your flight and come to. Because when I used to start back then, when you can accumulate a couple of scholarships and you end up with so much allowance at the end. Because, for example, if you have the Global Korean Scholarship, you have the Professor Scholarship, you have the best graduating or best academic performance scholarship. There are so many, just like so many. And some universities, they are still struggling to have what we call an international community. So they just want, for example, they just want a Nigerian student. Because when you have a Nigerian student within them and the only black person, it helps to boost up their international recognition in the index. So they are going to provide you with scholarship to study just in that university. All these universities I'm mentioning, it takes time. The thing is, it takes time to search for them, but I keep sharing them on my channel. Like the moderator said before, I have my own channel, which sometimes I do share admission tips into these universities. So I'm going to now show you how you can search for these scholarships in Korea, because Korea is the first language. Its international language is not English, it's not French, it's Korean. And this is where a lot of people have issues. But if you know your way or how to go about searching for scholarships, then you will know how to navigate, because some websites could be translated into English, but they will not have the information which you need to apply for. But some, if you can use the Korean version and you translate, then you have a lot. And mind you, this process is slow, it's painful, but that is how I got my job, my current job. I use the first top website before job. I'm already getting into jobs. This one is for jobs. First, I'm going to show you the website, how to search for schools, scholarships. Then I'm going to show you the website, how to search for jobs. If you just had your master's degree and you're looking for a job, or you're looking for postdoctorate position, it's a website you need to go through it every day. I usually tell people, when are you graduating? What is your next plan? I just send you the website. You check every day. Because mind you, when I was doing my PhD in Korea, at my university, I used to see a lot of Indians. In my mind, I'm like, what makes these guys, so many of them here? It is not that they are smarter. It's just that they have the piece of information that they need to get in. And Korea, like I mentioned before, Korea has copied the American standard, the American way of doing things. There are websites for everything. If you come to Korea, you don't like to search information online, I'm sorry, don't come. But if you're someone who knows how to browse through the internet, you will gain a lot, because everything you need for, be it for school, for work, it's online. So let's go ahead. Let me show you how I search for. I'm going to come back to the PPT. So the first thing, if you're looking forward to study in Korea, and first thing first, let me go show you. Okay, let's get there. First thing first, there is what we call Study in Korea. The Study in Korea website, you get it from Google. The Study in Korea website is run by the Korean government. So this is the website. When you get into the Study in Korea website, when you get into the website, you have it in Korean, you have it in English, or any other language of your choice. Like in my own case, because I'm from Cameroon, we have two languages, English and French. So I'm comfortable with both. So in Nigeria, probably just English. Other people might be watching who are from different parts of the world, other languages. So you check on your right-hand side where you can change the languages. So within this website, when you just open this website, mine is already in English. You see, there is information here, news, what we call the news page. It gives you information about scholarships which are currently coming up, which are ongoing. It gives you information about jobs. Like currently, I just opened this now, and it shows that there is what we call the Korean Japanese government scholarship. Like I mentioned before, there is government bilateral agreement scholarships. So this one is the Korean Japanese scholarship. So it targets just Japanese students for master's or doctorate program against spring 2023. So admissions will be ongoing within October. So admissions, scholarship applications against spring are ongoing right now. So when you come here, you have all the information you need. The application guide, the application form. It is the same website you're going to use when you're looking for scholarship, when you're looking for the Global Korean Scholarship. And again, this same website, from this same website, you're going to see even schools that are currently offering admission at the moment. You see from the bottom here, you see schools that are offering admissions right now. And you also see here, these are them passing. Yeah, these are school. This is in Korean, but in Korea, you have to try as much as possible. Just use your phone, or sometimes you screenshot, and then you can translate between to Korean to from Korean to English or English to Korean. So these schools here right now are currently, they will show you the date of admission, because I usually get a lot of information from people asking when is admission ongoing, when are scholarships ongoing. All this information, you can find it online. And the thing with Korea is that life here goes fast. Like it really goes so fast, and people are usually so busy that when you come up with a question to ask somebody about something, the manner of approach, and if you ask it, for example, when is admission for your university? Okay, I'm just gonna send you a link that this is admission is ongoing here, because I have a website. I had Gmail account. It's full. It's currently full. And coupled with the people that reach out to me privately, and I think my brothers too from Tianbuk National University, they experience the same. When it is admission time in Korea, lots of mails come in. But the good thing about this webinar is that you do not need to contact so many people. You can just come here by yourself, sit at the comfort of your space. You check the school, you go through it, you check the scholarships they have, you check whatsoever you have. If you come up to somebody with the questions, oh, I found they offer this scholarship, and they said they need topic. What is topic? Oh, yes. Then I'll quickly tell you what is topic. Topic is test for Korean as a foreign language. Those are the kind of questions I love to do, because everything I do, mind you, I do it for free. I don't charge, because I've benefited from so many scholarships. So I just feel that any other person out there has to benefit. You never stop somebody, because you never know whether it is his or her time to benefit from a scholarship. And mind you, before I continue, I help a lot, because when I had my first scholarship to travel out of Cameroon, at that moment I didn't have a passport, and I needed to get my visa from Nigeria. It was a Nigerian brother who helped me. We've never met, but I sent my documents to him, and he did everything to me. So I always keep such memories and help people as much as possible anytime I can help. You know, not I don't charge anything. I just help as much as and there's so many people out there, even the Nigerian community fellows here organizing this webinar. They are doing so much just by helping. So this is how you search for scholarships, right there. And then there's also studying Korean website. So after this website will be shared with you. And then there is also this website which I like the most. I call it High Brain. It's called High Brain. This is, I feel, if I'm to rank websites in Korea, I'm going to rank the High Brain website as the top. This website, when I was introduced to this website, I was introduced by a Gabonese professor he worked at Keimyong University. So he introduced me with this website. When I went through it, to get the High Brain website, listen very well. You go High Brain, okay, highbrain.net, and you come in. It's in Korean. The website, when you open the website, everything is in Korean. So when I opened it the first time, I hated it and I just closed it and I left. So it was like, bro, did you open the website? I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. But guess what? When I graduated, I was looking for a job, for a postdoc position. This one comes in for people who have PhD already. That's why I'm dropping this here. When you have a PhD, because there are so many postdoctorate positions in Korea, there are a lot of them. Korean professors need students. They need PhD graduates, and the pay too is really good. It's also very good. It can accommodate you, your family, and you can live a comfortable life in Korea. You don't need to go apply elsewhere. It is here now. So with this website, especially for the PhD students, postdoctorate students, because a lot of people send emails, I'm looking for a postdoctorate position in Korea. First of all, Korea has a lot of fundings to support postdoctorate fellows, to support people who just had their PhD and they're ready to fund your research within Korea. But if you don't know how to go about it, then you might feel it's very hard. I had my own position here using this website. So when you get into High Brain, you're going to come, listen very well, follow up. You're going to come on your left because you don't really read Korean. I read Korean. You come to your left and you move here, this side, Hayway. You're going to click on this. Please, everyone follow. Click on this. When you click on that, it's still in Korean. Then you pull it down. Pull it down. You're going to see some English here. Global.net. Look at what happens when I click that in English. It now opens up in English. So here to your right, these are admissions. And here, these are postdoctorate. These are research assistant professor positions in Korea. And right now, tenure track faculty position. This one is currently receiving applications as we speak right now. The Korean University is also receiving. Seoul National University. The KDI, which I told you about, job openings for tenure positions, is also receiving right now. Let's click on that one and see what happens. And let's also look at the pay. So the job opening for tenure professors, this is what is opening. And look at the directions of what they want. They want somebody who has done competitive policy, international relations, public economics, welfare, strategic management, entrepreneurship. Those are the fields. Okay, right now, let's pull them right now. Okay, when you go there, there, you're going to go, okay, wait. Okay, I want to show you guys something. Okay, here, okay, those are the fields. Okay, these are the number of openings. You have 4 openings, and within these 4 openings, they will be very, very happy if an African or a Nigerian, a Cameroonian, or anyone within the continent, or anyone who is not working in that university applies, or if a lady applies, they'll be very happy because these are some of the criteria they use when they want to rank the index of a university. They look at your international staff, they look at your gender balance and all of that. And universities are looking forward to people to come study. They're looking for PhDs to come work. So that is that, and they're currently receiving applications right now. And then what you need, usually they'll need your CV, they'll need a cover letter. I'm going to be showing you how to go about writing your cover letter for postdoctorate or a statement of purpose if you're applying for a master's scholarship or a PhD scholarship. I'll be sharing that. Then they will need you to have research papers, 1 or 2 publications. Publications, I'm going to also say something about that if we have time. It's very important for publications in Korea. Then a written pledge, confirmation of recruitment. So, and then they'll need 3 recommendation letters. Please, while I'm proceeding, keep a good relationship with your teachers or your professors, because Korea, they don't joke. When they say they want 3 recommendation letters, if one of them says this student wasn't good enough, you will not get that scholarship. If this one, another professor says this student was not good enough, you will not get that postdoctorate position. It is not a joke. They don't joke with that. Or just because your 3 recommendations are good enough, even if, like for example, they said they need 2 papers and you have 1, and your 3 professors say, wow, this student was amazing, they will give you that job. They are going to award you that job. And again, trust me, they're going to call each and every one of that professor. They're going to email them. And also, the Korean embassy in Nigeria is going to cross-check that. So be careful. Again, all right. So let's go back to that. That's for postdoctorate positions. Also, postdoctorate, I'm still ongoing. I'll just be showing you. Then you have the tenure track position, and you see here, engineering, chemistry, robotics, you know, all of these areas. Let me go down. What I'm interested in, okay, fine. If you have a PhD and you're able to teach in English, if you're able to teach in English, you're going to benefit from this. And you have 5 representative achievements, which could be papers, publications, and or patents for those who are into the engineering students and all of that. You benefit from this. Please, also, I always mention to when I'm mentoring a student when I'm counseling a student, like you can see on my channel, Dr. Wainkwa Mentorship. The mentorship there is on purpose because I don't just tell you about the scholarship position. Usually I grab, like, we get to talk, then from there I can suggest or recommend, you know, because sometimes you might be talented, but you don't know how much you can do. And also one thing which I always say is that please apply. Don't limit yourself. If you have the minimum criteria, please apply. You might just be that lucky candidate. And if you're a first class student, don't be so overconfident. I had a first class, my first class, when I had my first class, when I was applying, because I had a first class, for masters, you don't even look at first class, but I had a first class almost 2 was on 88 on yeah 3.88 on 4. That was huge. Almost one of the best graduate students. But it was harder for me instead to have a scholarship then or even jobs. So it always depends on how you package yourself. Keyword package. And also in applying for scholarships, there is what we call following instructions. I'll be showing that as well as I proceed with that. So that is the website, High Brain Korea. That's the website already. Then let me go back to the presentation. The website on how to look for scholarships in Korea. Okay. Yeah, we are here. All right. Okay, just a moment. Okay. Yeah, so we're here. Okay. Like I mentioned, in Korea, sometimes when we are searching for scholarships, I personally, I will even use Instagram to look for scholarships. So one of the best website I even use to get jobs, even in Korea, is Twitter. I use Twitter to look for jobs or look for master degree, PhD scholarships. And also, I use a YouTube channel. Even though I have one, I learn from other people. So now let's go to the cover letter and the statement of purpose. What is the difference? This is one thing which is we need to really get the difference well, because it's very important. You see, when you're applying for the master degree scholarship, they're going to ask you for what they call the statement of purpose. When you're applying for a job or a postdoctorate, they'll ask you for what they call the cover letter. These are similar. They are similar things. In all of them, you need to explain why. The question is, why do you think I should select you? Why do you think this scholarship should be given to you? That is where students that didn't earn a first class, this is where you come in. This is where you let the people know, or the professors or the admission board, to know that you are the right candidate. Don't go about telling them, I lost my dad, I lost this. No, people don't look at pity stories. You need to explain why you feel you should be awarded that scholarship. And guess what? All the answers for your cover letter and the statement of purpose are always written in the mission of either is the mission of the scholarship or the criteria of what the professor is looking for. Sometimes they put up jobs people don't read, or they put up scholarships. For example, I'm going to give the case of the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. If you go to the Erasmus Mundus scholarship website, you're going to see the mission of the scholarship. What is their aim? What are they looking for? What is the target? What are they expecting students to do after they are done from that scholarship? So, for example, if you're applying for the Global Korean Scholarship, which expects you to stay, or the Koika Scholarship, which expects you to leave Korea once you're done, and you go say you want to, after your scholarship, you want to stay back in Korea, that one statement makes you lose it. And it goes the same with the cover letter. You're explaining why you need that. And the statement of purpose, or in other words, personal statement, you tell the admission committee. The statement of purpose here is for people who have bachelor degree, and you're going into masters, or you have masters and you're applying for PhD. They'll always ask for a statement of purpose. In Korea, it's very common. They'll ask you for that. They're going to ask you that a lot. So you tell the admission committee who you are. Then they are going to ask you what your academic or your professional interests are. How are you are going to, how is the program, how will the program be helpful to you, right? So let's look at this screen. I'm not sure if you see well. You can see here, these are two cover letters. And then for the cover letter, it is also the same. Cover letters is the same like statement of purpose. But with the cover letter, you're going to go further. With the statement of purpose, cover letter, you start almost the same. So let's start with A. A is to my left. So this person started with, "Dear Professor, I'm writing to express my interest in the postdoctoral position." Or, "Dear Professor, I'm writing to express my desire for this scholarship, master degree scholarship." And the other one, B, is another one. The problem with A, which I find a lot with so many students, which I usually find, I find it a little bit offensive, and I think some professors still find it offensive too. Okay, for example, Let me.
Please, can admin mute Imran?
Yeah, someone should mute. For example, let's say someone comes to your house in the morning. He wants you to give him a cup of water so that he can drink. He comes to your door. He just knocks. Pop, pop, pop. I say, who is there? It's Rogers. Come in. I want a cup of water. I'm knocking because I want to drink water. Will that not be unfair? Won't it sound very rude? Because back home, right? Back home, I feel Nigeria and Cameroon, we are all the same. The way we talk, because we are not native English speakers, the way we talk and the way we write are two different things. If you're not careful, you will offend, because Korean professors, mind you, Korean professors, first, English is not their language, but majority have studied in the US. So they have the US culture and they have the Korean culture. You try as much as possible not to offend a professor. And mind you, per day, most professors in Korea receive over 10, 20, 30 emails. So you have to impress him. You have to come in as polite as much as possible. So if you just come in and you're just stating why your interest, like it, to me, it comes a little bit offensive. First, introduce yourself. Tell who you are, because by telling who you are, we'll say, oh, fine. Oh, this is, oh, wow. I mean, you said you're this. My name is this. Let's say I graduated from the University of Ibadan, and I have a PhD in this, and I'm this, I'm this. That statement is very catchy. It gives the person an interest. Oh, fine. Oh, this person is the best graduating student in school. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me see what he has to. But when you start, I'm writing to express my sincere interest in you. If it makes it's rude and it's boring and it makes it the professor to be unfair. He's just going to toss your paper aside. Or if it's in a day when he's not in a good mood, he's not going to read your paper and he will not get back to you. And probably you might have spent night, days putting or coming up with that. So it's very important, be it a statement of purpose, be it a cover letter, please always introduce yourself. If you're not a first class degree graduate student, say, for example, my name is Rogers, I'm from Nigeria, and I graduated from this department, and my research, I did my master degree thesis on this. Or my name is Peter, I'm a graduate from Ibadan University, one of the top or best universities in Nigeria. And mind you, you might say Ibadan, and I don't know if I'm correct well, and that professor might have had a classmate in the US who is from that university. Just by seeing that statement, it would excite him and he's going to read further. So the opening statement is important. First, be it for cover letter or statement of purpose, introduce yourself. Secondly, then now you can come in and express why you're contacting the person. That goes the same for the statement of purpose. My name is this Rogers. I'm a graduate from Dongo University. I worked with this. My supervisor was this. Okay. Second paragraph, I'm writing to express my interest in a postdoctorate position in forest restoration ecology. I am interested in this. I have a Master of Science. This. I have 3 publications. I have 4 publications. I have 7 publications. You mentioned that. If it's for masters, you say you're applying for a master's. My name is this. I'm a first class. If you don't have first class, I'm a graduate from University of Lagos. Okay, and I did my bachelor's degree thesis in this. My supervisor was this. Then the second part, you now explain why you are contacting the person. Then after that, now you can put a little bit on a little bit of explanation of what you study for your masters. If you that's a statement of purpose. If your PhD, you're going to a little bit explain what you study for your PhD. Then you should come in if you're applying for master's PhD. Explain how will that scholarship benefit you. And most scholarships, check this out. Most scholarships, like I said at the beginning, it's very important you know what a scholarship is. Always use this statement. I love using it. I'm applying because I feel that this is for master's students. I feel after learning what I've learned for my bachelor and volunteering, there is a need for me to do, go extend my study further because I feel it's a skill that is limiting in this area within my country. Wow. Then now they'll know that you're coming to study to fill that gap. You don't say, I won the scholarship because I lost my dad, I lost my uncle, and lost. People will feel sorry for you, but that is not a reason enough. When you start sounding emotional, you're not sounding professional, you will lose that scholarship. And if you're a PhD student, you say, okay, I studied this, I studied that. I think if I join your team, these are the skills I'm bringing. So this is where the difference comes in. With a cover letter, you're explaining the skills you bring in to contribute to that lab or that industry or that university. For the cover letter, you'll be explaining what you are coming in, what receiving that education will do for you. That is where the difference now comes. Then you mention of the skills you have. For example, if you're science, do you have R? Do you have Python? Do you have this particular number of softwares? Those are the science, for example. Or are you good at writing? And most of those things you're writing there, if you go for the scholarship, if you go the eligibility, you're going to find them there. But don't just do copy and paste. Paraphrase. Take them and paraphrase. The good thing is that coming from Nigeria or Cameroon, our English is good enough for us to paraphrase. Take them, paraphrase. Don't do copy and paste. Do not do copy and paste. Then for your PhD too, go to the advert, check it out. Also, go and check or look for the professor on Google Scholar or ResearchGate, and you see the kind of research they are doing. Then you add that up to that. Once you're done with your statement of purpose and your cover letter, there is one very important thing we have to always do. Share it with your friend to check. I know I myself, when I started applying for master's, I used to feel sometimes shy, uncomfortable even sometimes my best friend, I'll feel very uncomfortable for him to check. Please, don't be shy. Give it to them, they will check. They might just see that you've missed, let's say, for example, you can see on the B part here, I wrote the date. Let's say I might have written and I missed a word, or the name of the professor, I might have spelled it wrongly, or all of that. So there are little things, there are very little things that you miss out, and you end up missing a whole scholarship which you've been practicing or preparing for over 6 months. And I have a story. My first ever scholarship to apply for was the German scholarship called DAD. I love that scholarship, not because here's what happened in Cameroon. When you're applying, there is what we call confirmation of birth. So you have to provide a document to show where you were born. So I sent another person in another city to go do it for me. So when he did it, he swapped where I was born and put my dad. So I just took the documents and I submitted them. So when they checked the first, just that mistake, they just told me, I'm sorry, sir, but the academy cannot accept your documents. That scholarship I've been preparing for over 6 months. It hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings big time. But guess what? After that, I started preparing more again and I started getting scholarships. Here's the part where they say you hear someone say, I had a first class, but they didn't select me. I don't think it's fair. No. Scholarships need people who are disciplined. They need people who are focused. They need people who are very careful because the thought is if you cannot follow simple instructions and they are bringing you all the way from your country, from Nigeria to Korea, and because they said don't cross the road when it's a red light and you cross the road just because you could not look left and right, a car knocks you. So very little stuff like that will make you lose a scholarship, and very little things like that will make you gain the scholarship. Let me show you now with that. Before we continue again, I want to show. Let's get to. Please let me know if I exceed my presentation time because I feel there's so much to be shared. Let me.
7 minutes more, sir.
Okay. Okay, 7. All right. Let me.
Yes, sir.
Then I'll just. Okay. Okay. Then let me just finish this one. Study plan. Okay. Let me just go with this. For the study plan in Korea, the study plan most of the time, for the study plans, like I said before, most Korean government, Korean scholarships, they already they have the fundings because there are some scholarships whereby it can be awarded to you based on your plan of study. You know, like Korean, the professor, he might see your plan and it's good for him. It was like, okay, I'll hire you. Some already have a plan, and this one, this example is from the Global Korean Scholarship Study Plan. First thing, you need to explain how you're going to improve your English ability or your Korean ability because the Global Korean Scholarship first year you need to study English, but with Korea first year you don't need to study English because they expect that when you're done you need to go back to your country. But with Korean government scholarship, um, you can stay if you want. So you need to explain how. And within this part, most of the time, what you need to say is you can I love to mention or to mention that one of the best way of learning Korean language while you're in Korea is by interacting with the Korean community. You can go to what we call the farmers market. You can go to events, right? Because now COVID is open. You mentioned how you can go for events, you can go to tourism parts and meet people, interact with them, learn. That is a way by which you can learn Korean. Also, you're going to read online, and also you're going to sometimes listen to Korean songs, Korean music, and all of that. So all these things you need to coin them and put them in there. Usually, when scholarships are ongoing, when it is open, I'm usually available to when students write. I can always go through your material, help you to to correct or provide information that can help you to write that. And there's so many also scholars within this platform which can help you. Please, when you're applying for any scholarship in Korea, if you know any Nigerian or anybody from your country who is here, reach out to them because they are like student ambassadors here. Whether you like it or not, they will help you so much in achieving a scholarship. Reach out to them, ask them for help. A lot of them will be very busy, but so many so many of them will be be willing to help. I don't think there's any student I've come across who will not be very excited to help a fellow brother or sister. Second, you need to mention the goal of the study and your detailed study plan. So what is the goal? And the goal here is always, like I say, how are you going to contribute or adding into the vacant space of information or knowledge? So if you're into agriculture in Nigeria, for example, and let's say you're into soils, because my area is soils, and right now you're studying, let's say, microplastics, how they contaminate soils, let's say in the Lagos region, and you think that you don't have enough equipment to do that, you can mention that the goal is to come here, learn the equipment, learn how to use the PCR or the microscopes, and then you use all of that to sort out your problem. So you're an expert in your field, you're an expert in your field, and you know what is lacking. And by the way, don't tell lies or don't exaggerate, because when you exaggerate, people who are reading, they are going to know. Because usually during selection period, people from each country are being called to help in the selection process. So you would definitely have a Nigerian who is part of the selection board of the Korean Global Scholarship. You might have a Cameroonian, you might have somebody from other parts of the world. So the stories you tell, they know it. Even though we are here, I can still tell stories about Cameroon. I know my country. Nigerians here know. So the goal of the detailed study, and then also for COICA, this is one very important point. When you're writing the goal of your study plan, for those doing COICA, it is expected you go back. You can go and then apply and come back, but do not mention to them you want to stay when you're done. It's a big no-no. But for a global Korean scholarship, you're still welcome to do that. And I think, okay, yeah, for the research proposal for postdoctorate, this is what I have to say. Korea has a lot of budget. There is so much budget. So most projects you're coming to study within, you will not often be taken based on your proposal, like it is in other countries where you write a proposal and you go out there, and majority already have projects which they want you to come fit in and work. So you can, and then once you are accepted, they'll ask you now to write a proposal for what you're going to do. Like in my own case.
Doctor, sir,
Yes.
sorry to cut you short. Could
Yes.
you reshare your screen, please?
Pardon?
I heard there was a disruption.
It's
Could you
showing. What
reshare
happened
your
is like
screen?
people have to pin it to their screen.
Okay, I'm not. Is it not showing?
The screen is showing from my angle. I'm
It's
seeing the
showing from
screen.
my end too. It's
I'm
showing.
also saying what I
It's from your device.
It's from their device. They have to click on the pin
Is
button.
it okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Is
screen
it
is
okay?
shared. It's okay. Yes.
very okay.
Oh, sorry if some people couldn't get that. So for the hello?
Please,
Yeah.
if we have any suggestion, please forward it to the admin, please, so that it won't
Okay.
interrupt the presentation of the presenter, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the research proposal for postdoctorate, that could be a whole, PPT on its own. But what I have to mention is that if you're looking for a postdoctorate position in Korea, in South Korea, the website I shared, High Brain Korea, please go through it. And then there are three things you need to prepare. You need to prepare your CV, which is what some people call the resume. You need to prepare your cover letter, which I just showed on how you can write your cover letter. And then you also need to notify your professors or those who are in charge that you are applying. The third one can come in after, probably it will depend on which position you're applying for. That is how you go about applying for postdoctorates in Korea. For your research proposal, often they will not expect you to provide a proposal unless for the Global Korean Scholarship where you have a research proposal for postdoctorate. But in a research proposal, the format you follow is just the same, like almost writing a thesis or a paper, where you're going to have introduction, material and methods, your expected outcome, your research schedule. Before you join a professor, do check with your lab. Or you can ask a fellow Nigerian who is currently in Korea with a lab to tell you more about their lab. Then you can send what we call a cold email to the professor. That's also something which some other time, if I have time, I'm going to show you how you can email professors in Korea and catch their attention. Because in my own self, let me prepare the PhD students. When you graduate, before you get your first job, if you're not, you need to send over 50 mails. It's normal. Do not be discouraged. Keep sending them. Send them and keep sending because you never know when you have it. And you will not, the effort cannot be, underrated. So keep doing that. I think I heard I had less just 7 minutes. So let me stop here for now. And then if I have time, I'm going to show more. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Doctor, for the presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm
You
trying
want to
to
share
stop.
your screen, right?
My screen wasn't sharing.
Yes, because we had a glitch. However, okay. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
oh,
Thank you so much,
okay.
Doctor, for the wonderful presentation. I
Mm,
you deserve more than a round of applause. And for even those who are scholars here already, we also benefited immensely from your presentation. So thank you so much once again, and we
you're welcome.
cannot thank you enough. So I know a lot of people would have different questions and rummaging through their mind, and I also have questions too. But I know a lot of people have already sent their questions to the chat box, which I'm very sure the admin are taking care of. However, for those who are just joining, our erudite doctor has given us a lot of information about scholarship opportunities in Korea, especially for masters and PhD, and also for postdoc positions. So there is this euphoria about jackpot. Like if you want to jackpot, the easiest way to jackpot out of Nigeria or even anywhere in Africa is through education. It's the most secure, it's the most easiest, and it's most stress-free part. And I would like to comment based on the last points the doctor mentioned regarding not giving up when you are writing or applying for scholarships. So I have a friend, a senior colleague in my previous lab, who was able to write about almost 600 letter of intent to different professors. So eventually was able to get two that responded to his letter of intent. And out of that two, one eventually took him in as a master's student. He's now a PhD holder from he graduated last semester. So that is to show that if you are going into the business of applying for scholarship, it is not just for the faint-hearted. So you need to arm yourself with the skills and also the patience and then the persistence to pull through. So I hope we listen to and learn immensely from that piece of experience that has been shared. For every sentence that our professor, as our doctor has made, there are words are pregnant. It is pregnant with experience. I'm very sure of that. And within the limited time, he has really been able to deliver it thoroughly. So I would like to give room for questions, but some questions that I've been seeing so far are questions that might not be able to answer them here, and I'm not sure if the admins have been able to select some questions so far from the questions that have been sent. So if there are none, okay. There is a question from Osama. Osama says that question Osama IM Sokoto. He stated that what is the minimum CGPA to apply for PhD? And can I apply if I did not finish my MSc? Like, what is the minimum CGPA and for PhD? And can he apply if he has not finished his MSc? I think we can be taking it one after the other. Thank you so much, Doctor.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Yes. Okay. in Korea, in South Korea, the CGPA, which is GPA, is on a total of 4. I don't know your total in Nigeria. It's on a total of 4. So
They have 5, some 7.
yes, okay. It's on a total of 4. Minimum, for example, the Global Korean Scholarship, the minimum GPA to apply is 2.6 on 4. That's a 2.6 on 4 minimum GPA to apply for masters, and I think same for PhD. But here's the thing: with the Global Korea, with the scholarships, remember it's a competition, right? If you're applying for, because there's country selection. I'm going to take an example of Korea and Global Korean Scholarship. There's country selection. If they need, because each year when the scholarship is announced, they tell you how many students they need from Nigeria, which is what they call a quota. If they need 4 students from Nigeria, and the minimum GPA is 2.6, within that with the 2.6, are you sure you're going to be part or among the students that will be taken from Nigeria? That's one thing to consider. Secondly, even if your GPA is very high, there are some things you can do to boost it up. One, they will need you to have TOEFL. This is where the TOEFL now comes in. Either you have TOEFL or IELTS with a high score, or Korean language. Sorry, I think a couple of friends have said Koreans. A lot of people in Nigeria are now, studying Korean back home. So if you have TOEIC, it's another one, and then another one. If you have publication, wow, great. If you have publications just for masters, just one publication is enough. By publications, you're going for the SCI 1 or SCI, we call it SCI 2 journals or that. Don't go for publications where the publications, I'm sorry, but I don't want to offend my Indian colleagues, but there are so many of them advertised by some colleagues there. Be careful with the kind of journal you're selecting, because they are looking for SCI journal. You can go for Springer journals, Esclavier's journals, Nature. At the level of masters, the question now, what you be telling yourself, but masters, I can't publish. Yes, you can. Go for literature review papers. You can review papers. That could be another story, another topic. You can review papers and write one paper. If you have one publication, it's going to be a very good plus for you. So that is the minimum. So to answer the question, minimum is 2.64 on 4. So if you do the conversion, you're going to see with the total of your GPA. And
Thank
then
you
also
so much.
age is a factor too. Age is
Okay.
one factor. If you apply, like now, undergraduates are ongoing, less than 25 years old, and then master's, PhD is a certain age. I'm not so sure. I don't want to call a number without verifying, but age is also a factor.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much, Doctor. I really
You're
appreciate.
welcome.
And I would like to use this medium to also introduce the our pioneer president at the Nigerian Students Association, in person of Dr. Abdulhamid Owolabi, who would also be joining us in the discussion regarding the scholarship experience. As a matter of fact, for most of us here, for not even most, for okay, let me keep it that way. He is the one that has been able to facilitate how we were able to get here, and he has made a lot of experience along the way. And I'm very sure it would be of benefit if to learn or to benefit from his wealth of experience so far. So I would like to, Doctor Sir, you want to learn also from you. You can come in And as he's also coming in, I would like to also call on, okay, Doctor is here. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. So we would like to also benefit from your wealth of experience as regard scholarship applications and how to go about them, especially in South Korea. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Good evening in Korea, good afternoon in Nigeria. And I believe Nigeria use the same time with most of the African countries. So, like you said, my name is Abdelhamid. I am a research fellow at Kyungpook National University here in South Korea. I've been in South Korea since 2016. So I'm just allotted 5 minutes to just discuss with you guys. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you for making this a reality, especially to the organizers, and congratulations to the president, the present president, in person of Engineer Anis, and your ESCOs as well. And a big congratulations to all the participants, because what you are getting here for free, it is being sold out there. We are all from Africa. Let me just use that word because it is not only Nigerians that are here, but the Nigerian association here in Kyungpook National University took it upon themselves as a duty, at least, to give back to Nigeria and to give back to Africa as a whole. So without wasting much of the time, I will just tell you some of the few things. Basically, I'm going to base my discussion within this space of 5 minutes on two things. Number one is, actually, Dr. Rogers, sorry for not greeting you, Dr. Rogers. Thank you so much for the presentation as well. Doctor has said so many things about not having full confidence on what you have. Maybe if you have a first class or a 2-1, yes, it is good to have a first class. You should always aim for the top. And at the same time, if you have maybe the normal one that we call 2-2 in Nigeria, you shouldn't be saddened, especially if you want to go into the research area. And at the same time, then another thing before I start is an advice. The what's it called? The issue of Jakpa is the normal thing in Nigeria now. Like the Mr. Ashraf already said, it is the easiest route if you want to move out of Nigeria. But the truth is, if you are not research oriented, as you Jakpa in another country, you Jakpa back to Nigeria. That is just the bigger truth, bitter truth. So why am I saying this is, yes, you can use it as a Jakpa means, but at the same time, you should be research oriented. And some of the things you see on social media, they are not as it is. That is just the bitter truth. People will be showing so many pictures. That is not as it is. But when you get here, or you get to maybe any other country of your choice, you understand. But so get prepared. The first thing is, we are centering our discussion on those that have a university degree. But at the same time, we know in Nigeria, we have those that has what's it called? Their degrees in HND, especially in the science field. So if you are part of those that have that, be rest assured that your certificate is well recognized, not only in Nigeria and in Korea, it is well recognized. And you can at the same time apply for a master's degree scholarship the same way BSc is applying for it. So I have some experience about those that have done that successfully. But one thing is, in doing that, you have to have a confidence, because we all know that most of us went to the university by let me say, not as if maybe we wanted to go to the university. Some wanted to go to the polytechnic, some wanted to go to the university, but at the long run, some of us, not all, just found ourselves in those places. So if you found yourself as a graduate from a polytechnic, irrespective of federal or university, polytechnic is a polytechnic, don't feel saddened that maybe you are not going to attain your what's it called, your dream of becoming a researcher, of having a PhD. Yes, you can do that. Not only in South Korea, in fact,
have my PhD.
Not only in Nigeria, sorry, not only in South Korea, in fact, in other places as well. So all you have to do is to follow the same, what's it called, the same advice given by Dr. Ruja. So without wasting much of the time, follow the same advice, seek advice from those that are already in Korea. It might not be only in Korea, it could be maybe in Canada that you want to go to, or US. You follow them, even if it is UK. You speak with those that are already here, then from there, they are going to tell you so many things you need to do to package yourself. You know, if you have a degree in it, maybe a mechanical engineering degree, you finish from maybe University of Ibadan, you have a BSc or maybe B Engine as it is being called, but you don't have what is called a soft skill and a hard skill. But someone that finished from the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, the person has HND in mechanical, but the person can use AutoCAD, can use MATLAB, can use what have you, and you are sending your what's it called, admission, or sorry, letter of intent to the same professor. The truth is that the professor is going to consider those that have HND above you. Now you see so many Indians going to Canada, going to US. If you notice that most of the universities in the likes of India and Pakistan, you always see, they always put maybe something Institute of Technology. It is the same as our HND in Nigeria. Do you understand? And those are the result that is being used by our fellow brothers that are Pakistanis, that are Indians, that are Bangladeshis, especially. And there's nowhere in the world you go. In fact, if you go anywhere in the world and you don't meet any of these three countrymen, please, it's better you just go back, because they are very versatile, but most of their results is based on the same level, almost on the same level as the HND. So don't feel detected or dejected, rather, sorry, as if maybe you cannot achieve what you want to achieve. All you just have to do is to package yourself, is to at least package yourself in the sense that you are going to be useful to yourself, and don't look at yourself as if maybe you have not achieved anything. There's nothing bad in having an HND, and you can get to your limits. In fact, anything you want to achieve in life, you can do it. Meet with the people that are in charge. You can speak with the president. You can speak with the other people around. You can speak with Dr. Rogers. So that is for those that have a HND. And for those that has maybe 2-2, you want to compete with someone that has a 2-1 and first class. Yes, you can compete perfectly, and at the same time, you win the scholarship. And like Dr. Rogers aptly said, that the person that has a first class should not be overconfident, because if we are in the same class and at the long run, you have a 2-2, I have a first class, and you got the admission, the first thing that's going to come to my mind is that, how will they select ABC without selecting me because I have a first class? I will talk from experience. I said I came to this country 2016. I've been trying to come to South Korea since 2014. I came through one of the programs that was talked about by Professor Rogers, which is KOICA. KOICA is one of, in fact, to me personally, is the best scholarship in South Korea. But like he said, you need to be someone that is working with the government or an NGO. Back then, I was working with a federal government of Nigeria. So I got this opportunity. This is what I'm going to use to wrap it up. I got this opportunity to apply for this scholarship. I was selected by the committee. The letter just came. I was not even in the headquarters. I was in another station. I was in Delta State, Sapele to be precise. I just received a call that, can you travel to South Korea if you have this scholarship, because you have to fight for this scholarship. The highest thing the office will do for you is to nominate you, but there are steps you need to follow. If you pass, you get yourself in. And first and foremost, I finished from University of Ilorin. I had a 2-2. That was 2008. I finished in 2008. I had a 2-2. I came in with second class lower. But now I have 2 masters and I have a PhD, alhamdulillah. So having a tutu is not something, is not a death sentence. So at least only that you have to know what you want to do and what you want to achieve in life. So I have a tutu. I got a scholarship, and this scholarship is not something that is just meant for those in Nigeria alone. I have to compete with others across the globe. So I tried in 2014. I wasn't selected. I contacted the office by myself. As at that time, the school, sorry, my office did not even say anything again. They are forgotten, you know. We all know how we do things in our country. So because I had already put in some efforts by myself in 2014, in fact, I was disqualified in the first stage. I did not even proceed to the second stage. I said, okay, the next thing is for me to try in 2015. By the time I called to the office in Abuja that I want them to please send a nomination, because that is what they are going to send, a nomination letter to my office, so that maybe my office might nominate me again. So I'll start the process all over again. They told me no, there's no time, because they have already collated all the names that they want to do. I missed that again. In 2016, I told my wife that I'm going to try this for the last time. And by that time, I've already started my master's, my first master's at the University of Ilorin. So I said, if I try this and I didn't get it, at least I'll be finishing my master's in 2016. When I finish, I will just apply for a PhD in.
Dr. Sir,
yes.
Time is almost up. Please help us quickly.
Okay. So to wrap this up, I applied for the scholarship, and in the midst of what we have, they will select 20 out of all those that are available across the globe. And I got this scholarship. So how did I get this scholarship? Just one thing. During the presentation, 11 of us were, interviewed at the embassy in Korea embassy in Nigeria. The interviewer specifically said one thing, and I want you guys to just know this. He said that because I was the 11th person that was interviewed, he said, out of all the 11 that were being interviewed, I was the only one that specifically stated the exact thing I want to do in South Korea. And what was that? Study plan. So that was how God assisted me in getting the scholarship. And from there, everything is, alhamdulillah, from there now. So thank you so much. I wish you all the best. If you have a HND or you have a BSc, maybe 2221 or first class, all you have to do is put in more effort to get a scholarship. Everything is not just by your first degree. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. That is our big man here in person of Dr. Blamindo Ulabi. So we appreciate him. And what he just gave us in just a few minutes is an experience that has been accumulated for almost a decade experience. So we wish that we could have time to discuss this more and more, but the space and the time would not permit us. So I would like to call on the pioneer vice president of the Nigerian Student Association, in person of Dr. Bashir Adelodun, who would also take us through some scholarship experience. As he's coming in, I would like to inform us that the Nigerian Student Association, NSA, has Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube accounts. And before we go, I think the YouTube link for Dr. Wainkwa would also be shared with us. I think it has been shared on the chat box. If you are just joining in, you can request for another one. So I would like to call on Dr. Bashir Adelodun to also come in to give us a little bit of scholarship experience based on his own view. So different people have different scholarship experience, and I'm very, very sure that we are going to benefit from that within 5 minutes. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, sir. I'm thanking everyone for attending this a very novel and good program. I congratulate the NSA-KNU for organizing this wonderful program and the speaker Dr. Rogers and Dr. Abdulhamid for setting the pace in giving the invaluable information for the participants. So standing on the already established protocol, I will just, because we have a very short time to talk, so I wouldn't go into details of everything. So, but I will just a bit drift away from what has been said by the speakers. So I would like everyone, either for people coming for masters or PhD or postdoc, to let them know that things are becoming very competitive, though scholarships are available quite well, but are very, very competitive, unlike previously, where even with third class, you can easily get it. But now the awareness are there, just like the one we are doing now. So they tend to select the best. So in order to be able to be selected, I think I'm going to advise that we should try as much as possible to arm ourselves with our skills and possibly things that can give us an edge to be able to land the scholarships. And one more thing about scholarships is that scholarships are not free meal. The whether professors, whether government, though government's own can be a little bit, we can, because as you all know, we always believe government things are free. But government that is offering the scholarship are not the one that you are going to work with. You are going to work with professors. So these things are not free. So putting that in mind, whenever you are writing your SOP or you are writing requesting for a position in any labs, you should be able to have that in mind, that what can you offer the lab and the professor, what can you contribute? So with that, you'll be able to put up a very good proposal or SOP that no professor will be able to reject, because you must have established that you have one or two things to contribute, not that you want to learn, no space to learn. Just emphasize what you want to contribute. So also, one more important thing that I would also like to emphasize is not all scholarships are worth pursuing. So what I mean by this is there have been some people that have been able to landed some scholarships, but eventually they regretted, like the way Dr. Abdulhamid said, like the way you jar in, it might be the way you will just jar out. So that's why you need to do your investigation properly. So you check the profile. We have through Google Scholar, you can probably check out the students from professors to know who really the professor is. So because we are human beings with different characters, like individual, we know that we have some bad characters too. So there are some characters that we might not be able to like meet up with. Probably the expectation will be high that you might not be able to achieve. So it is very essential to do your investigation properly. So this where when we have maybe friends or associates in those countries or in those schools can come in. So like the popular saying that success in life, God factor is constant. So it's on like a 2 points. One is probably you have someone that has worked for you in life, so you are just following that step, or you work on your own. So working on your own could be very tedious because you are in the midst of unknown. But if you have someone that has worked for you, like you have some people on ground that can give you valuable information, okay, this lab, you should go there because the professor or the lab mates are very good, or they can advise like, don't go here. So they can do the background check for you. So I think these are the few things I have to share with you guys, and I wish each and every one of us best of luck. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for the short and brief but very, very impactful comments. I really appreciate those, and I'm very sure everyone also would have picked one or two things. I know there are other questions that have been rummaging in our mind, and this is a fertile ground to ask them. I have some list of questions here, and I am very sure either of the resource person or Dr. Abdulhamid or Dr. Bashir can help us analyze and give answers to them. They are numerous, but we have less than 15 minutes to finish this session. So I would like to, and we'll still have after question and answer. So I would like to pick just two or three of these questions to be answered. Are GRE, IELTS, TOEFL required for Korean scholarship as asked for Kabir Olurede? The question has been answered already. What is the age limit for scholarship? Okay, I'm sifting through. Just want to pick three that will cover the questions that have not been answered. So this is a very good question. I would like Dr. Rogers to answer this. Does any of these scholarships give room for dependent? Does any of these scholarships give room for dependent? So, Dr. Rogers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The question, does it give room for dependent? Like, you mean accompanying spouse or?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't really give room, but it makes it easier for you to take your dependent along. For example, it was easier for me to bring my wife along when I was doing my PhD. So I had a higher advantage to invite her to South Korea while doing my PhD under Global Korean Scholarship. But for if I wasn't under the scholarship at that point, it would have been very difficult, and maybe I might not be able to bring her along. So that is the benefit of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Um, to quickly add to what Doctor has said, so I know Doctor has already enumerated some scholarship, KGSP, Korean KNU or Kangwon University scholarship. So for Koika, especially if it is masters, you are not allowed to bring your family, but I'm not sure if that's the correct answer for Koika. But for KGSP, for PhD, I know of that, and if it's for institution scholarship, I know there are also like the KNU or Kangwon University, so you can bring in your spouse, so and your children, irrespective. It comes with its own terms and conditions, though. But the simple answer is that there are chances for that. So there's another question. Can one apply for PhD directly without having master's degree? So I would like Dr. Bashir to answer this. Can one apply for PhD directly without having master's degree? Is it possible?
Yeah. What is possible here is not that you don't. It is
So
called
there's another
combined degree.
question.
Like
Can one apply for
you are
PhD
going to
directly without having master's
it's more than
degree?
the
So
period
I would
of
like
your
Dr.
study.
Bashir
It's more
to
than
answer
having
this.
to go
Can
through
one
the
apply for PhD directly without
just
having
masters
master's
only
degree?
or PhD
Is
only.
it possible?
So they combine it at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
get your
What is
combined
possible
degree.
here is not that you
So
don't.
it is possible.
So
So we have, I
there's
think we
another
have
question.
many NSA-KNU members
Can
that
one
can
apply for
we are
PhD
going to have,
directly without
although
having
it is
master's
kind
degree?
of advisable.
So I would like
If it is
Dr.
possible,
Bashir to
to
answer
have
this.
to go
Can
through
one
the
apply for
master's
PhD
degree,
directly without
just
having
masters
master's
only
degree?
or PhD
Is
only.
it
But if it
possible?
is what you have on the combine it table at the end of the day is
Yeah.
get your
What is
combined as
possible
well.
here is not that
Thank
you
you. So it
don't.
is possible.
So
we have some
there's another
question,
question,
and
can one apply for teaching directly without having master's
it's more than
degree?
advisable.
So I would like
If it is
Dr.
possible,
Bashir to answer this. Can one apply for
master's
PhD
degree,
directly without
just
having
master's
master's
degree or
degree?
PhD
Is
only.
it
But if it
possible?
is what you have on the table at the end of the day is get your
Shale is
what is
available.
possible here
The
is
question
not
was
that
that
it is possible.
I currently
So
have there's
we
another
have
question,
and
can one apply for teaching directly without having master's
it's
degree?
more than advisable.
So I would like
If it is
Dr.
possible,
Bashir to answer this. Can one apply for
master's
PhD
degree,
directly without
just
having
master's
master's
degree
degree?
or PhD
Is
only.
it
But if it
possible?
is what you have on the table at the end of the day is
Shale is
what is
available.
possible here
The
is
question
not that
was
it
that
is possible.
so there's another question, and can one apply for teaching directly without having master's
It's more than
degree?
advisable.
So I would like
If it is
Dr.
possible,
Bashir to answer this.
Thank you so
Can
much
one
for this
apply for
moderator.
PhD
Yes,
directly without having
going to
master's
be an
degree?
advantage
Is it possible?
for having such, even if it is going to, if it is a local journal, it doesn't really matter because you're applying for masters. I already stated something similar, that someone coming with a BSc and someone with an HND, and that person is equipped with the necessary tools that is needed by the professor. The professor is going to go for the person that has the necessary, that has the tools that is important to his lab. So if you can have more, yes, but if you have just one, it is better, because normally for your bachelor degrees, you are not expected to have a publication. That is just the normal things that we believe in back home. So from your thesis, you can bring one or two, and with just that is okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I have some other questions here regarding how do I translate from Korea to French and Korea to English, and what is the range of pages for writing SOP? To quickly answer that, because our time is going fast. So for translation of document, translation of from Korean to English language, I think this questionnaire came late, so it has been discussed in detail. So you can use a browser to do that, and you can use maybe Google Translate to translate the information. And if you need more information about that, you can you can check our YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn page for the recording of today's session. So there's another question: what is the range of pages for number of words or pages to write for SOP? Usually, on a general term for SOP, it shouldn't exceed 2 pages, and not too large fonts. Times New Roman 12 space with 1.5 space. So not more than 2 pages is it's overdoing it regarding the especially when there is no specification. There are some scholarships that require that this number of words and this number of pages, and this is the rules. So that is how to go about that. Dr. Wainkwa has shared his YouTube page on the chat box. The president has also shared the YouTube page for NSA and the Facebook page, and also for the LinkedIn page. So for those who were able to register before the registration was closed, you will still be getting more information regarding the updates on the scholarship or the links that have been shared so far in this session. So to bring this event to a remarkable end, I would like to call on, because our time is going fast, I would like to call on Engineer Adeshina Muhammad Awal, who was the immediate past president of the NSA-KNU, to come and give his closing remarks. So here in KNU, we've had ourselves as a family, and it's a big family, and in fact, when you see us, you think as if you are in Nigeria, because we relate with other African countries too. And in December, we do have our annual general meeting, which hopefully, if you guys stick around, will also benefit from the quality of the seminar and also the delivery that's going to be shared with us, if you love to be a part of this family. So I would like to call on the immediate past president of NSA-KNU, in person of Engineer Adeshina Muhammad Awal. Oh, thank you. We are expecting you from Pohang too, Mr. Biliaminu, we are expecting you. So this is a big family. So thank you for joining us. So I would like to call on Engineer Adeshina Muhammad Awal to come and give us his closing remarks. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Anko, Mr. Ashraf. It's an honor and a privilege to be invited to this podium. I think first I would like to congratulate the organizing committee for a job well done. And secondly, I would like to appreciate all the speakers who have contributed immensely to this program, starting from Dr. Wainkwa, the presenting our main presenter. And I also like to appreciate Dr. Abdulhamid and also Dr. Bashir Adelodun. So actually, there's no much for me to say because all has been said already. The only thing is that I would not like to repeat anything so as not to waste our time. But the only thing is that I want to encourage all the participants that this is an eye opener for us. So this session is meant to give us an overview of the potential that this country has to offer in terms of scholarship. So please, I want us to take all the resources. We should take them very seriously because people have spent energy, time to bring this to us. And in closing the session, one of the things that I also like to add is that because all of us here, we have already passed through this phase before. So we are talking with some level of experience. So for me, one thing I would like to just emphasize is that people that are still in Nigeria, I know even some of the participants might still be students. So people that are still students, I would encourage that you should try to graduate with the best possible grade. And people that have graduated, then it is what it is already. That means the grade you have is already what you have. And as some of our presenters have said, that should not limit you in getting opportunities. And also, I want you to continue to source information. Try to look for information about schools, about professors, and you coming here actually shows that you are already on the right path to that. So continue to check for information, as we know that information is power, and it is also very essential for scholarship programs like this. And also another thing I would like to let us know is that now that we already have some background about the kind of documents that we would need, the kind of maybe exams that we might take, we should start preparing. Maybe you don't have a transcript at hand, try to get your transcript, try to get your international passport. What else? Maybe, for instance, we know that in Korea, English language, test of English language is very important. So you might be planning already on how to take your either IELTS or TOEFL. So right now, the things you should be doing, try to gather information, try to also arrange your documents, like I've said. And I think one last thing I would also like to emphasize that one way that people maybe sometimes neglect and which is very powerful in getting opportunity is a network. That means the people that we know. I know for a fact that here in Kyompo National University, more than 50% of the Nigerians here actually came here by network, by referrals, by people that we have relationship with. So sometimes when these people get information, they pass it to other people that they know that this information is going to be valuable to them. So also try to ensure that you have this kind of relationships. You have people that you can get this kind of information from. So like I said, this has been a wonderful session, and I wish all the participants the best of favor in their future endeavors. And I wish probably one day we would probably meet in Korea or some other places in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Uh, some people might be wondering. One thing I would like to add that anytime you are coming to Korea, just prepare that you are coming for an 18-hour flight. So if you are if you are someone, so we pray God make all our plans easy, and we appreciate all our coming. In fact, today's turnout is a surprise to and we are very, 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 very much happy with the huge turnouts that we've experienced today. So the videos will be present on our YouTube channel, and our Facebook group, so a Facebook page. So if you need to cross-reference and check back on some things that you've missed during the session, you can go back to all these channels to confirm or update your knowledge. So if you need to have any information regarding or ask any information regarding the scholarship process, so you can also reach out to us through our platforms, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and then hopefully you'll get the reply. Also, NSA has a website. The website of NSA is www.nsa.com. So then the PPT of today's session will be sent to all the participants as have been updated by the organizers. The PPT will be sent. The website is www.nsa-KNU.com. www.nsa-KNU.com. Facebook, NSA-KNU, Twitter, NSA_KNU, LinkedIn, NSA-KNU. So that has been our efforts in giving back to the society from what we've learned so far. And I hope Almighty God bless this endeavor. And by the next time we're having this huge gathering, it will be a scholarship gathering whereby there will be a sponsorship of different people to come and study in different advanced countries in the world. So I would like to add that we shouldn't forget that the reason why we are so much concerned about this is just to contribute our quota to the development of our country. So whatever you are doing, know that you are an ambassador of Nigeria. So as an ambassador of Nigeria, anything we do, we are also representing our country. One thing that I got that shocked me from one of the doctors, Dr. Wainkwa's presentation, was the fact that Ethiopia got banned because some of the previous participants in the previous scholarship absconded. They refused to go home when the government said they should be going home. So that is a sign to show that even one mistake from an individual from a country in a foreign land can also affect the other nationals from the same country. So let us be wary of our activities as a Nigerian or as an indigene of a particular country wherever we find ourselves outside the shores of our country. So without further ado, I remain my humble self, and I've been your host in person of Ashraf Akintola. I am also the CEO and founder of Noble Kimbat Limited. Noble Kimbat Limited is an impact development company that is focused on developing the expertise of Africans, especially Africans, in the area of bioinformatics, data science, education, health, and media and publicity. So that is what Noble Kimbat Limited is all about. And Noble Kimbat Limited is also a beneficiary of the initiatives by the NSA and especially the founding president of NSA. So this is just to show that we are making progress, and NSA is a body that is growing in leap and bound. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending to this session, and we hope to see you soon in Korea, in good health and in happiness, and in a state in which you'll be like, thank you for organizing that event, and we really appreciate your presence here. So officially, this session is over. Thank you so much. Kamsa Amnida. So you can share your information on the chat box. So if you still need, you can share your information. The meeting link will still be on for the next 30 minutes. So share your info, and so that we can harvest your information from there, and then you can be sent the need.
The Nigerian Students Association, NSA-KNU National University, Daegu, South Korea, cordially invites you to a free online webinar on scholarship opportunities in South Korea for graduates and...
So, hello. Sir, are we allowed to on our mic?
Yes.
The Nigerian Students Association, NSA-KNU National University, Daegu, South Korea, cordially invites you to a free online webinar on scholarship opportunities in South Korea for graduate and postdoc positions. This webinar will be delivered by Dr. Chia, a research professor at Kangwon National University, South Korea. The webinar would come
Now
up
come
on
again,
Monday,
please.
3rd
You
of October
asked regarding
2022
transcripts.
between 11 a.m.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
1
I
p.m.
asked
Nigerian
about,
time.
actually I'm
To
a
be a
graduate
part,
student,
click
so
on the
I
link
came
below
to
this
know
video
about the
and
transcript
watch us
process.
live on all our
So do I
social
have
media
to
platforms.
transcript my
Come on, come
graduation mark sheet only, or I have
The
to
Nigerian Students
transcript my
Association,
high school
NSA,
and
Kyungpook
intermediate
National
mark sheet?
University, Daegu, South Korea,
No,
cordially
just
invites
your
you to a
graduate
free online
transcript
webinar
is
on
needed.
scholarship opportunities
Just
in
your
South Korea
BSc.
for
If
graduate and
it is
postdoc
master's you're
positions.
applying for,
This
just
webinar
your
would be
BSc
delivered by
transcript. If it
Dr.
is
Chia,
PhD
a
you
research
are applying
professor
for,
at Engr
just your
National
master's
University,
and
South
your
Korea.
undergraduate
The webinar would
transcripts.
come up on
Those are the ones you
Monday,
need.
3rd of October 2022 between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Nigerian
You're
time.
welcome.
To be a part, click on the link below this video and watch us live on all our social media platforms.
Hello.
Come on, come on.
Please,
The Nigerian
I want
Students
to know
Association,
more.
NSA, Kyungpook
I
National
didn't have
University,
any
Daegu,
of
South
you guys
Korea,
talk about
cordially invites you
IT
to a free online webinar on
opportunities.
scholarship opportunities in South Korea for graduate and postdoc positions.